Welcome to a brand new Combustion Chamber Live. We're here at Cars and Coffee, Central Florida, the premier cars and coffee for this area. Let's get after it. All right, we're getting things started off right with a Lamborghini Huracan. This would be the 610-4 all-wheel drive, and it is love bug season here in Central Florida, but that does not stop some of the hardcore guys from driving their exotic supercars around. So you can see this thing got pelted with a lot of bugs, but you know what? The car is protected. It's not going to damage this particular vehicle. These guys take great care of their supercars, and it's great to see a supercar owner out here driving it. This car is powered by naturally aspirated V10, which is fantastic. You know, naturally aspirated engines in supercars are going away day by day, but it's great to see these cars on the road. Big fan. I've driven the 610-4 hardtop like this at Palm Beach International Raceway. This car really does stick to the ground. Of course, I'm an even bigger fan of the Huracan Performante. And we come right over here, we have another Huracan. This has some interesting accents to it. You can see, got your brace there, highlighted in red. White, black, and red run throughout this vehicle. So you've got the black wheels here with the red calipers. You've got red stitching and red interior with the black throughout the vehicle. Now, who can let me know in the comment section below? Now, don't Google this. I'm trusting you to, be on the honor system. How do you activate the turn signals in a Huracan, or any modern Lamborghini for that matter? We come around to the front. This guy doesn't have a bunch of bugs on it because I think he drove a much shorter distance. But he's got the red stripe down there at the front. Looks very, very nice. Both these cars actually are really cool. I love the orange interior and calipers on the black one there. Another fantastic car that is out here today is the Aston Martin DB11. If you want to go check out our firing order episode, we actually toured the Aston Martin production facility and got to see the DB11, DBS, and Vantages being put together. Outstanding cars. Aston Martin has made some great leaps with the DB11. This car can come with either a twin turbo V8 or the naturally aspirated V12. I would always prefer the naturally aspirated V12 just because I'm kind of a purist like that. But the quality that they're manufacturing these cars with now is just such, like I said, great leaps forward for the company in terms of design, functionality, performance, and of course now with the Valkyrie and the cars 002 and 003. They're really continuing to push the envelope forward. So they are going to make rear mid-engine cars now, which I think is great. That's going to be their McLaren fighter. Beautiful interior, though. If the interior, some of the interior components, like the infotainment system, looks a little familiar to you, that is actually sourced from a Mercedes-Benz. But still a fantastic, fantastic vehicle. And also, the hood is the single largest piece of aluminum for a production vehicle. And the paintwork that goes into the vehicle is really outstanding. When I toured the facility, they show you from the very beginning stages all the way across the DB11's hood, the absolute just meticulous quality they do in painting and sanding and painting and sanding to get rid of the orange peel and things you would see on a much more mass-produced car. So the gentleman that brought this DB11 out here today was nice enough to open it up for me to take a look at, and this does have the naturally aspirated V12 twin turbo. Whoa, this is different than what I saw at the production facility. Nice. So this is definitely a different edition because the ones I saw were the naturally aspirated V12s and the twin turbo V8s. Oh wow, I'm gonna have to definitely do some checking into this particular edition here. As you can see, the last person to kind of inspect and touch the car there, plaque is right there. That's very common with Aston Martin. You can find that on a lot of them. It's actually a standard for them. Wow. Okay, this car must scoot like crazy. So a little surprise here this morning at Cars and Coffee Central Florida. And if you like surprises like that, and you like these kinds of cars, hit that subscribe button and bell icon for instant notifications when we go live with new episodes such as this. And that's that single piece of aluminum hood I was telling you all about just a little bit ago. Now, while I absolutely love my Aston Martins, I do have a soft spot for Jaguar. These are really fantastic cars, and this one is sort of a race edition of one of their other cars. As you can see, it comes with that beautiful blue paint, the spoiler, the wheels, upgraded performance throughout the entire vehicle. It is supercharged, and this car has actually been manufactured for a little while from Jaguar. I don't know if they're still making this particular, the XK model, but I've driven the F-Type cars, both coupe and convertible, with the supercharged V8, the 5-liter, and I love it. These cars are great vehicles, but they're also incredibly comfortable. The big 4-door sedan, I believe it's the XJL, I fall asleep in that really, really easily. And right here, another Aston Martin. Now, I love these cars. So, older Astons, newer Astons. One of my favorite Astons is actually a 1979 Vantage V8. Very nice car. And what do we have here? We've got a 582 Lamborghini Huracan pulling up now. And that would be the rear-wheel drive version. And here is a very clean, very customized 240SX. I had the pleasure of meeting the owner today. Her and her man, they have put a lot of work into this. Now, JDM is not exactly my strong suit, but I can spot quality work just like anybody else. And this thing is super clean. They've tucked it in the wiring. I've just done a lot of work too. It's very clean. It's very nice. When I met them today, they were, detailing the car to the nines. It's very well done. I would actually love to learn more about this vehicle. You might see it in a future episode of Combustion Chamber. And if you want to see more episodes of Combustion Chamber, hit that subscribe button and bell icon. Very nice car. S2000. Actually, we have got a couple S2000s here. We got this blue one here, black one there. We've got Supras, we've got Civics, Toyotas, Hondas. Some are leaning more towards performance, some are leaning more towards looks. Of course, we know Honda makes an outstanding product. And we come back down this way, an Infiniti G37S. This is the 4-door. I've driven a ton of Infinitis, and I actually quite like the car. We had a what was it, the Q60T on our show. It was the turboed car, their new 2-door car. It was brand new when we had it on our show. Really nice vehicle. So I have a soft spot for Infinitis. I have a killer looking STI here. Looks like they've stripped it down a little bit, get rid of some of that extra weight. Remember, you don't have to have a giant V8 engine if your power to weight ratio is pretty awesome. So anywhere where you can drop weight is a good thing. Now, I photographed this car recently, this Supra, and if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, full albums go up on our Facebook page, and then Instagram gets pictures through the stories and all that. But I've shot this car before, and I know I've shared some photos of it. I love all the work that's gone into it, that massive turbo too. So this thing probably does scoot very, very well. Okay, so we've got this Nissan Xterra here, and I was going to show it to you anyways, but there's something on it that's going to get under Jeep fans' skin, but I have to share it with you. It's a fun little, kind of nudge at the Jeep guys. Of course, you got the hashtag not a Jeep right there, but that's not what I wanted to show you. This shovel right here, Jeep recovery tool. So I know a few Jeep owners. That's funny. And also it has some very interesting graphics on it. You've got the Cyberdyne systems from Terminator 2 that built Skynet and got millions of people killed in a fictional world. The No Fate from Terminator 2 also. Sarah Connor actually carves this into sort of a wooden picnic table when she's out in the desert. So we got a Terminator 2 fan here. Got the Punisher skull, got the Christopher Nolan era Batman logo, and you've got something I have not seen since my time in Iraq. Stay back 100 meters or you will be shot. So this was on the back of all of our vehicles that we could put it on just to help people, get back. If you try to run up on us, you might be a car bomb, a suicide bomber. So stay back or you'll get shot. And that's how we kept our fellow soldiers safe. Pork Chop Express, Big Trouble in Little China. I love that movie, guys. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. After you subscribe and hit that bell icon. Paycheck inside. I really like this guy's vehicle. So, all sorts of cool stuff. Really neat. I just love all the movie references and so you got some Jurassic Park right there. That's pretty cool. You've got peace through superior firepower. That is something also I saw a lot in my time in the military. So very, very neat stuff. And right here we have a nice, huge lineup of Porsches. This isn't the only lineup here today, but they are definitely out in force here. So I didn't know a whole lot about Porsches before having some on my show. And now that I have, I love them. And one of the things I like about, just from a design perspective, is I love how the Cayman here, and I know the previous Boxster does this as well, but how the lip is integrated into the tail light housing there. So really like it. But you got some classics here. You've got some late model. And on our YouTube channel, we've had a 911 Turbo and a GT3 RS, specifically a 991 GT3 RS. And here's a Boxster right here. A friend of mine has a Boxster. It's the body style previous to this one, but what I was, kind of talking about with the integrated tail lights there with the spoiler, I really always kind of like that design. I really like this version of the Boxster. And my friend's is pretty awesome too. He's a brave man, likes to take unnecessary chances, letting me drive it around the Circuit of the Americas track in Austin. It was a lot of fun. But I love these cars, and I have to say that the 991 GT3 RS was one of the best cars that I've ever driven, just from a straight performance perspective. I actually, in my personal taste and my personal feeling about the car, I'll put it on par with the Huracan Performante. Beautiful classic here. I see this guy sometimes show up. It's really nice, just in fantastic shape. And of course, you've got the badging across the back there. Now, Porsche makes great cars. If you like to work on your own car, though, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. The engines aren't exactly the easiest thing to get to, but the performance is there. They're so agile. They're so nimble. The quality is great. The more that I learn about Porsche, the more that I love the cars and what's not to love. Here we have the BMW Z4, the new BMW Z4, built in cooperation with Toyota. So it does share a lot of ideas with the new Supra, but they are not the same car. There is enough of a difference between the two. Really nice car. I bet this thing is pretty nimble. Just given it's not a huge car. It's got plenty of power. But very nice to see the new Z4 out here today. And we're going to go down this way because, like the Porsche guys, the BMWs, they're out here. And you've got a classic like this. If you watched Mission Impossible Fallout, he's got that green one that he really, romps on and does a lot of his own driving, which I thought was cool. The green actually kind of reminds me of a Verde Draco, Lamborghini's Verde Draco color, which is one of my favorite color cars. And I love the bright orange here on this BMW. Really gorgeous. Reminds me of Orange Julius. You have to be kind of old to get that reference, but they were tasty. Got another BMW guy showing up right here. And we have the Orlando Beamer Club here. And we come down here, we got even more lined up. Very cool stuff. I like the all blacked out one here with the baby blue stripes right there. Very cool, but it's offset by a dark red interior here. Definitely neat stuff. And right here, you've got this M Series right here. in this weird kind of yellow color. A lot of people don't like this color, but I love it actually. I like the funky colors. I like the weird stuff. So if I got a BMW, this would be one of the colors I would seriously consider getting. And we have a celebrity here with us today. We've got Herbie the Love Bug. Of course, being a Volkswagen, engine is in the back. Designed by Mr. Porsche as well. This one is got the cloth convertible here that you can pull back. Pretty neat stuff. And there's been several Herbie the Love Bug movies. I know that there was one with Lindsay Lohan. I never watched that one. But when I was a kid, you know, these would come on TV and I would watch them. We never had cable as a kid, but my grandparents did. So I would watch this on cable TV. And right around here, we've got this classic, but we've got modern GTIs, a few of them. Left and to the right. And we've got a Toyota minivan, but it's got stylish wheels, painted calipers. It's very interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it. I do know that in other markets, though, luxury minivans and performance minivans are a thing, and they're really coveted. Buick actually does a great job in China with their minivan lineup. Gorgeous silver Mercedes here. That big long hood. Bit of an older model, but still, these are great cars. Mercedes just another really good manufacturer. And we spin around here and we've got an Audi. This is a front wheel drive car, but they come with, or this model can have all-wheel drive or front wheel drive, 2 engine options. Now I'm going to try to see if I can get this right. I don't know where the owner's at right now, but it's a 1.8 liter. The 2-liter turbo comes in the all-wheel drive version. But you can see he's definitely put some aftermarket parts on here. He's customized it. He sent me a list. I wish I could commit it to memory. I got it last night. But definitely a lot of love is put into these cars. And people typically think, well, it's Audi, it's a luxury car. You buy it, you drive it for a while, you get another one. But as you can see, there's a good following for these cars, and not just the R8, but these cars as well. And a lot of people, I think that would surprise them. So great cars. I need to learn more about them. That was the thing. Yeah, actually, not this one, but the Stormtrooper one right here actually reached out to me. You know, before the show happens, I say, hey, are you going to be there? Let me know, and I'll give your car some extra attention and some extra love. And he actually did that. And so, really fantastic car. And it's cool to see people taking a car that otherwise would not be considered something you would modify and really making it their own. I think that's fantastic. And Audi makes an outstanding product. Of course, we got Tent World out here with their custom F-150 pickup truck here, custom grill, beautiful looking ride. So they're out here today. Like I said, beautiful vehicle, really, really nice stuff. Now here's something pretty cool, something we don't see two of, or even one of very often at the show, but the Herbie the Love Bug. This is the second one that's here today. Definitely a little bit different than the other one. Very, very cool. Very differently modified. That's pretty neat stuff. That looks like maybe that was an option, but that looks like a Porsche spoiler to me. I mean, there are things you can do with Volkswagen and Porsche, and I think you can interchange some components of the car, but I think that wing is from a Porsche. But if I'm right or wrong, let me know in the comment section below. This car just showed up, a Ferrari Testarossa, so you know it's going to get a lot of attention. An incredibly iconic car from Ferrari. Very popular in the 80s, just because it's a Ferrari. It's an incredibly dramatic looking car, but also because of the show Miami Vice. They had a white one on there with just the one mirror on the driver's side. So now sometimes on the show it was a real car and sometimes it was a mock-up, because you don't want to abuse a Testarossa like sometimes cars on television shows in the 80s got abused. But a gated stick shift here which was a lot more common back then. Now, that's few and far between, but the car is really, really dramatic. Very cool looking. And there's a few of these in town. I think there's 3 or 4 owners in town. Absolutely gorgeous car. So we've got a very interesting car right here, the Plymouth Prowler. Absolutely love the color that this one is in. These were hand built, a limited number every year that they were built. Powered by a 3.5 liter V6. Now, the car wasn't very powerful, but it wasn't meant for that. It was supposed to be sort of a retro cruiser. I always loved the design of these cars. I mean, there was things that I would customize. Of course, that would probably kill the value of the car, but I think if I bought one of these, I'd probably never sell it. It was sort of a retro roadster, very big during that retro time. The people over at Chrysler had, they were going down that road, they had the PT Cruiser, which is a very different car than this, and I would absolutely never recommend one of those. Because I had one once to save some money, and it caught on fire while I was driving it. But the Prowler here is a fantastic vehicle, and it's still a stunning looking car, and it's actually turned out to be pretty timeless. At least, there's a few cues on the car that really tell you what era it's from, like the black bumpers here, just being a plastic material. But there's nothing to say that you can't dip or wrap those or paint them. But the car overall is really timeless, really nice vehicle. And an alarm goes off. And right here we've got a 5th gen Camaro Hot Wheels edition. Very cool. Taking our unhealthy obsession with cars from a boy to a man. It doesn't stop. It's got aftermarket K&N intake, very similar to what's on my GTO. This would be the LS3 V8. I wonder if he's got anything else done. Looks probably mostly stock, which I can't blame the owner for that at all, because this is a nice limited edition car, and a lot of people would keep this stock, with the exception, of course, the aftermarket air cleaner. However, it does seem he's been published, which is awesome. So very, very nice car. I like the kind of crazy special editions that Chevy started doing with the 5th and 6th gen Camaro. When you bought a Camaro, your 4th and 3rd gen cars, there wasn't a lot of special editions, and if they were, well, is it a dealership edition? Is it a factory edition? And they're kind of hard to track down. C7 Corvette right next to a C6 Corvette. And like every car show, the Corvette guys are definitely out here today. So we've got a C7 Z06, another C7, 2 C6s, another C7, another C7. So right here we have my 2004 Pontiac GTO. This happens to be my daily driver. It is modified. I love this car to death. I have no regrets in buying it. It's got a ton of power, moves a lot quicker than you would think for its size. Of course, has the American engine and transmission, but the car is designed and built in Australia. And I can't get enough of the car. Of course, here's the 4-door version of it here, the Pontiac G8. So these cars came to America under the Pontiac name, of course, being Holden's in Australia. Now, something interesting about this show is it benefits Nemours Children's Hospital. So it's not just a car show. We're all out here for a good cause. So that's what's very important. That's what makes this show special. That's why I really enjoy covering this show as well. Now, I took a picture of this car recently, put it up on Instagram and said, do you love it, do you hate it? It had more love than it did hate because of the radical front end that's only going to be lasting one model year. Now, I think it looks not too bad with the dark gray and the black. I mean, I like that they've moved the bow tie up into the grille. But this 1LE car, and you can tell it's a 1LE with that matte black hood, it's split people, it's divided people. So what do you think about this 1 year design? Do you think they should have kept it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. It is definitely aggressive. It is definitely different from GM. And of course, we've got a gorgeous blue 6th gen here. Of course, it's protected from all the love bugs. We saw the Lamborghini earlier that was just pelted with those things. So if you drive a great distance in Florida this time of year, you're going to get it. So right here we got a duo. We've got these two gentlemen are, they're always parked next to each other. Really nice guys. If the Cadillac looks familiar to you, it is a supercharged wagon with a stick shift. We actually have that featured on our show in an episode. So, I'll throw a link below to that episode. I think you guys will really like it. but it's a hell of a fun car to drive, and you know, it being stick shift is wild. So it's got that supercharged LSA motor, very comfortable drive. Of course, it's Cadillac, very well made. He's got his American flags up there like he does at every show. And his partner in crime has this 4th gen Camaro Z28. Now, you know I'm incredibly partial to the 4th gens. You know, I think when a new generation of Camaro comes out, people they forget about, oh, now it's the old thing. No, this is still a great car. Powered by an LS1 5.7 liter engine, and it's tucked, as you can see, all the way back in there. This will actually help make it a pretty nice track car, believe it or not. Now, I know it's got a solid rear end, or solid axle rear end, but there are a lot of parts you can get for this to make it handle exceptionally well. Aftermarket shock tower braces, subframe connectors, all these things. And there's still a lot of power you can squeeze out of that engine, even with that limited engine bay space. And this owner does take exceptionally good care of his Z28. I love these cars. Right here we have the ZL1 1LE Camaro, a track beast of a car straight from the factory. Supercharged to V8. Functional aero throughout. There's nothing on this car that is just looks like, hey, we're going to put a wing on it because we think it looks cool. Or we're going to put canards on it because it looks cool, or whatever. Now, they do give you the black wheels and that matte black hood there with the vehicle. Okay, that might be a looks thing, but the car is all performance and really fantastic. You know, it's great that you can now buy a race car that you could drive on the street straight from the factory. I believe this iteration has 620 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. And we come right here. We've got a C7 Z06 Corvette, so this is supercharged. Very nice car. Right next to another Camaro that's been modified. Looks like it has a ZL1 front end. Looks like those are V6 wheels, but you know, that's the thing about Camaros and even Mustangs. People swap parts from different versions of cars to really kind of make it their own. So V6 or V8 or turboed 4-cylinder, you know, make it your own. And right here we've got the 5-liter Mustang. Oh wow, okay, so you guys have seen our past broadcasts, and you've seen that robot Westworld horse that was in silver, and I'll point that out to you just a little bit, but this owner has the red one on his car. Very cool. So I really get a kick out of that kind of detailed customization. We've got our hatchbacks here, some all-wheel drive, some front-wheel drive. Not making these anymore for the American market, but they have an incredible loyal following. And it's a shame, too, because these cars really are fantastic. You know, I talked to the owners. They've got nothing but positive things to say about them. We've got ourselves a Roush-charged Mustang here with supercharger up there. Very nice. And the Mustang that we saw back there with the red, I call it the Westworld horse. This is the one that we typically see here at this show right there. So it's cool to see a different take on that with it being painted red. Come down here, we got even more Mustang firepower. So you've got your 6-cylinders, you got your 8s, different generations. Got the Cobra here in great condition. Got that gorgeous 2-tone interior. Love these cars. It's good to see people making them their own. Awesome Lexus SC500 out here today. We see this car at this show, and it's really nice. Beautiful blue metallic, very aggressive styling with its 3-tone interior. You've got the blue, this cream white, and those orange accents throughout the interior. Very clean, very nice, really cool design from Lexus. I'm hit or miss on huge grills, but on this car, it does it justice, and the back end looks fantastic. I do like big butts, and I cannot lie. Now, earlier we saw a lot of Porsches, and we have even more here. We got a couple with their spoilers in the deployed position, so they can come up and down as necessary. Of course, you can leave them up like this if you want. This one's got some nice baby blue stripes and carbon fiber running down the length of the vehicle. Very cool. Right next to a Cayman S with its wing up. We saw that. Really nice. Like I said, nimble, agile cars. Of course, I think they're all nice, but I bet this 911 Turbo S is probably one of the more wicked ones out here. Very nice. And even with it being a convertible, I'm gonna hazard a guess that this thing is super nimble and handles very, very well. Like I said, Porsche just does that great. Now, what's interesting is when you look at a car like this, typically, if I were a buyer, I don't care about cup holders or things of that nature. I hardly ever drink. Or in my own car, and it comes with cup holders. But this car does have cup holders in it, and if I remember correctly, and actually you can see them right there. I'm going to get very close without touching this owner's car. But do you see that little logo right there? That little thing opens up, and right there is where your cup holders come out. A little bit on the flimsy side, but they do work. So if you don't notice that cup icon, you won't be able to find the cup holders for your Colt 45. So we've got some more import action here. We've got Nissan GTRs lined up here. Of course, I love the orange color. I think it looks great with those lines. We've got a Nismo GTR here. Saw them come in a little earlier. So really, really good turnout. We got a lot more import action now today than when we started filming. They've been coming in as I've been running around checking out other cars. But you've got some wild rides here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Toyota and these two G35s are all the same family. I know the two G35s are. This is a father and son team right here. So, they're bagged, polished parts, carbon fiber, debadged, all sorts of neat stuff. And these cars, I believe they're I'm pretty sure they're bagged, so he can lift it back up so you don't damage your back there. But it's a father and son duo. They've put a lot of hard work into these cars. Wow. And the daughter as well. I believe that Supra is hers. So you can see that, he's getting his whole family in it. So it looks like they've done a little bit of work back here as well. But it's great to see a father getting both his son and daughter into cars. No matter if you like JDM or you're a domestic muscle kind of person or exotic, it's just cool to see them taking the cars, making them their own, and getting his kids into it. And if you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and bell icon for instant notifications when we go live with awesome cars like this. We've got more Season 3 episodes on the way. We've got a new firing order coming out. It's taken me a while to do. It takes a lot of research for this particular one, but I think you're going to love it. Firing Order is our new show. It's like commentary and other stuff, kind of a catch-all to cover everything else automotive related. Beautiful car here. It's a nice SRT Demon. So I'm not the only Pontiac GTO here, or an 04 GTO. This is another 04 with the 5.7 liter. Now 05 and 06 got the 6 liter LS2 engine. This one is very customized, very clean. I hate to admit it, but it is in better shape than mine. Mine is still got relatively low miles and it is clean, but this one is super, super well taken care of. And I want to show you something about these cars. Now, I love the GTO. I said earlier in the video how much I love the car. We can't see into the back. Okay, but that's kind of a good thing. The windows are tinted in part to protect the interior. On a lot of the GTOs, the rear seats, being in the sun and all that, do you see how nice the leather is back there? How there's no stretching or tearing? That's actually pretty commonplace on GTOs, and it's even happening to mine, even though I treat the seats and try to park it in the shade whenever I can. This car does not suffer from that problem because they take very good care of it. If you are in the market for a GTO, that's one of the things to look out for. You may not be able to get around it anyways, but just something to look out for in case you have to fix it. But the interior on this is super clean and very comfortable. I speak from experience. And everybody is welcome at a show like this. And you have a classic long bed Silverado here. It has the antique plates on it. Really good condition. I like how this is pretty much as it was. I know the wheels are aftermarket, those rims down there, but very nice old truck. My dad had an 85 GMC, same platform, if I'm not mistaken. Great vehicle. So we've got a Buick Grand National here. It's got a nice, good crowd around it. Very nice car. Probably the only car from the 80s you could consider a muscle car. It had a great amount of power, great amount of torque. It was, just a very awesome car and they're so coveted today. The value on them is great. Driven one on the show. You should check that episode out. That's why you should subscribe. Great car. Now we have a Dodge Magnum here with T-tops. Now this is an all-original car. I talked to the owner earlier. Has a 400 in it. I believe it's a model year is 1978, and that's the only year they put a 400 in it, if I understand correctly. If I'm right, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. But all original. Drives it out to the show. He's got a sign here for us, 1978. There you go. 400 cubic inch. Nice. So, of course, it's got the T-tops. It's just a huge bodied car. Not a lot of horsepower, and you would think, well, that's such a big engine. Why not? And it's just a sign of the times. Late 70s were not great for any manufacturer in terms of power. Those, a lot of people might take a car like this and put a modern, Hemi in it, some other Mopar creation, like a Demon engine or whatever. But this owner's chosen to keep it all stock, and as you can see, it still has the factory 8-track player. We have a pair of Vipers from different generations. We had a final edition 2002 on the show. Absolutely loved it. We're going to have another Viper soon. Don't want to tell you what it is. Very special, very awesome guy. But right here, we've got the ACR with the track pack, or I think it's what, the track pack extreme or extreme track pack. Anyways, this car sounds awesome. I heard him coming in today. We were actually on the freeway together. A little faster than my GTO. I hate to admit it. Naturally aspirated V10. Looks like he's got aftermarket headers down there, and it was pretty loud. I pegged it for aftermarket exhaust, but not quite sure how much exactly. But very nice car. Took some pictures of this today. If you want to see some really good high quality photos of a lot of the cars out here today, hit us up on our Facebook page or stay dialed into our Instagram. But more importantly, the best stuff is always on our YouTube channel. That's why you should subscribe. Have even more Mopar action. Got scat packs, RTs, Chargers, Challengers. Got one of my favorites right here, of course. I always want to highlight it. And the blue guy, or blue one, he's not here today. That's okay though. Still a nice guy and nice car. Excellent vehicles. Powered, some are, different packages. Some are 6-cylinder, some are V8s, 392 like this one here. Really nice stuff. I hope you enjoyed today's Cars and Coffee Central Florida coverage here on Combustion Chamber Live. Right here, we've got some more episodes I think you're going to like. And also, if you want to support the show, please subscribe and hit that bell icon for instant notifications when we go live with new episodes such as this. If you really love us, check us out on Patreon, and we're also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.